Peace. Peace to everybody tuning in. Just want to give honors. Thanks to everybody for tuning in, for sharing the videos. We're going to have a video today from the Brother Matheno Matthews L., the author of the Moorish American Palladium, or Moorish America's Palladium, Archival Palladium. It's a good book. I have it. I recommend all Moors get it, and he's sharing some wisdom with us. So definitely you want to check this out, and also make sure that you share this, okay, with your friends and family. Spread this information. So please give us some thumbs up and make sure you hit the share button. While more people are coming in here, we'll go ahead and play some music from some Moorish American artists. Well, first and foremost, we give honors. We give honors to the Most High, the Father of the universe, Allah. We always give honors to our Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, for bringing us our divine creed and for teaching us to love instead of hate, for revealing the truth of who we are, for establishing the Moorish Science Temple of America so that we can proclaim our nationality. All right, and we also give honors to the forerunner to the Prophet, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. We give honors to the first Supreme Grand Sheikh, appointed Supreme Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science Temple of America, E. Millie Ill, and honors to our Brother David Bailey L., current Supreme Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And we give honors to all of the temples, all of the different organizations, Nation of Islam, Nation of the Gods and Earths, everyone. We give honors to all the active Moors out there, the Hebrew Israelites, everyone, whether you consider yourself a Moor or not. We give honors to all the faithful Moors out there, and we give honors to you for watching, clicking like, and sharing this video. Definitely you're going to want to check this out and just share it with your friends and family. And like I said, while more people coming in here, we're going to go ahead and play some Moorish music. So enjoy that. The links are in the description, so definitely check those out. One of these brothers is an author as well, so check that out. Enjoy. Peace, everybody.
They got my back against the wall again. Ancient one return. I've been here before. Demons on my back, devils at my door, trying to pull me back in them trenches I climbed up out of. But we here to stay, I promise there's nothing they can do about us. Jewel gang, 32 degrees, frozen water. The flow fluid, 33 degrees. Respect the order, high science for these low lights. The gods done turned the savages into the rulers. Made the whole world backwards. Messianic wave, ass Noah, I'ma flood them. Reset the whole game on these lanes. Press the button, ain't no playing on my station. If I ask you, you boxed out. Pull them sticks like we controllers. All you see is shooters hop out, pop out. It's that cell rap, locked in the hole, planning your comeback. With all odds against you, no escape, nowhere to run at. You gon' cower or step up to your power. Better not waste a second, player. We in the final hours. Godspeed on Father time, while I inhale the Mother Earth. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Hello, cold world, I keep a hot 16. Got 'em on my mind, keep a helmet on my beam. Diamond gang is the team, we all kings, we all shine. We bury all that hater talk, landline. And if you with me, keeping it 100, like the bluish money, we'll be counting kings and queens and hundreds. We'll be counting kings and queens and hundreds, like the bluish money. If you really with me, building, keeping it 100, like the bluish money. We'll be counting kings and queens and hundreds. We'll be counting kings and queens and hundreds, like the bluish money.
Bayou, with us, let's exodus. Leave that shit in dust. Gotta rise up and get what's promised to us. Cause the time is ticking, this shit is up. Destruction is here, can you ignore this stuff? Gotta blossom, baby, this is awesome, baby. Got my daughter on the way, she's a Moses, baby. I love her mama, she's a righteous lady. We gon' do this right, this is ready, baby. Stay true by you, too, yeah. Roots deep, inspired, heavenly melodies filled with love. Free time, listen, feel that breeze, feel that sun. Earth is calling, pick what she say, pick and check it, I know trust.
Stay true, stay true, stay true, by you too. Stay true, stay true.
Yeah. Islam, son. Islam, son. Islam, son. Islam, son. Islam, son. Peace and greetings. Islam, son. Respect the treaties. Islam, son. Honor my prophet. Islam, son. Or my Glock get poppin'. You are now listening to the sounds of the real. I spit that boom bap, my style you can feel. My homie hit me up, said my songs give him chills. He lacked knowledge of self, my music help him build. He came home from a bid, was always with the shits. Just a little while, homie fell in love with the blicks. But this, that righteous, that conscious vibration, uplift falling humanity out of the matrix. Give a fuck about your cars and jewels. You can't take it with you when you die. That's the most high rules, affiliated with the guards and goons. If you go against the grain, you know you fooled. I meditate under the stars and moon. This is real life, tighten up. This is no cartoon, it's metaphysical. These rappers is not lyrical, it's too easy for me. You know competition, dude. Turn me up while you ride real slow. Up, roll it, light it, let your eyes get low. If you in need of that real, let me know. Just dial 1-800 Moorish General. Islam, son. Peace and greetings. Islam, son. Respect the treaties. Islam, son. Honor my prophet. Islam, son. Or my Glock get poppin'. Islam, son. Peace and greetings. Islam, son. Respect the treaties. Islam, son. Honor my prophet. Islam, son. Or my Glock get poppin'.
Peace. Islam coming at you live from Moors in America. We cover issues pertinent to Moorish Americans from our perspective, something that's very rare that you're not really going to see anywhere else. And I'm just coming at you to share a quick video from the brother Matheno Matthews L. He wrote a book which I recommend, right here, right? Moorish Americans Archival, Palladium. You can get the link in the description. Definitely check that out. Try to maintain some integrity and only recommend books that I've actually written or information that I actually think is helpful. That's why I advise everybody to actually get a copy of the the Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, otherwise known as the Circle 7 Quran. Always advise everybody to get the Divine Constitution and Bylaws, and also the 101s, right? Or the Quran questions. So definitely check this video out, because this brother's been in the Moorish Divine and National Movement for decades. Okay, so a lot of wisdom in there, and it's always a pleasure when someone with that much experience and wisdom is willing and open enough to share with us. Okay, so I'm just saying this just to put things in the proper perspective. Okay, so when the brother's speaking, listen. And if, you know, even if you don't agree with the information, just take it in stride and maybe even self-examine yourself, because some of us have been dealing with information that's faulty. That's exactly what you think it is. Okay, and there's even people out here who are very well respected, who've been teaching information and putting information out there that's not actually in alignment with the Moorish Divine and National Movement as brought forth by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So once again, every Moor should get a copy of that book, and every Moor should watch this video and share. And if you go back and peruse through here, there's other videos too by the same brother, Matthew Zell. So go back, check those out too. Plenty of wisdom in it. And I'd say check every last one of them out. Click like and share. Just spread it, okay? Because it's time. The Moors are waking up, and you need to know the foundation. You need to know what is really real. So I think it's very important. And that's why I'm here, and that's why this brother's here and sharing with us. And that's why I'm saying, don't just watch this, also share it, because it's not good enough just for a handful of us to know. We all need to know this information and share it and live on it. Okay, stand on it. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So make sure you watch this and share. Peace.
I started to record this morning, but I couldn't get it right for some reason, so I left it alone. And I'm coming back to it this afternoon. It was some thoughts that occurred to me this morning. I watched the video, which normally I probably wouldn't have watched it, but I did. And some brother was allegedly teaching on more science or the teachings of the prophet. I'm not sure where he was coming from. And I don't know, but he had some writing material on his fez, which gave me a cause to pause. Well, what got my attention was he had put up a picture of the Circle 7. And he was telling the audience, whoever they were, well, that's not a circle. And I'm like, really? Then he goes on to identify or say it was a geometric symbol or emblem or whatever he said. Then he goes further and takes the 7 out of the circle, draws a line from top to bottom and from right to left or whatever, and says, well, what do you see there? That was a cross. And that was probably about enough for me. I didn't really need to watch anymore. Caveat emptor. You know what that means? That means let the buyer beware. And it goes further. It means that if you go out and buy something, you ought to examine it before you spend your hard-earned money for it. If you're going to get a used car, don't just take somebody's word for it. It's a good car. You need to look under the hood, check the fluid levels, look at the hoses, look at the belts, get underneath of it, look under it. See if you see any areas where something may have been leaking, oil or water or what have you, or if something fell off. You got to do a, thorough examination, walk around it. Kick the tires. Take it out on the road and try it out. Test drive it. See how it accelerates, how it slows down. Does it swerve when you hit the brakes? You don't have to be a mechanic to realize that something may be wrong with this vehicle, and I'm not sure I want to buy it. It may not be safe. It may cost you more money down the road. Caveat emptor. Let the buyer beware before you invest in something. And I'm not here to say that I know everything about Moorish Science Temple, because I'm learning something every day. Thank God for that, but What did the prophet say? Because this bothered me when I first watched it, to know that there were Asiatics or our people in the audience trying to learn, and many of them probably sincerely wanting to understand things. You got a brother up here saying that something is not what it is. If it's not a circle, what is it? It's not a square. And you cannot go and take information from other sources and then bring it and mix it in with what the prophet was teaching, because it's not going to work. It's not going to work whatsoever. And I put it in the back of my mind. I just said, okay, I put it in the back of my mind. Well, this morning, and I have to learn this all the time, you need to pay attention when we wake up. We pay attention, because a lot of times those first thoughts in the morning may not be yours. Your Father God may be trying to share something with you. And the first thing I was thinking this morning was, what does the divine constitution and bylaws say? Doesn't it say all meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to what? The Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And some of y'all know that we can go somewhere on that Circle 7. Okay? But the thing about it is this. Prophet Drew Ali handed down the divine constitution and bylaws with 7 acts. An act is something you perform, something you actually have to do. But he handed that down, and it says right there, Circle 7, the Circle 7, blah, blah, blah. We know this says the Holy Quran and the Moorish Americans of America, Circle 7, divinely prepared, right? But you got a brother standing up here saying that's not a circle, and then moves the 7 out. Now, he may not have been intentionally trying to mislead people or spread misinformation or what. He may have actually thought he knew what he was talking about. In fact, he was older than me. But I'm here to tell him, and I would tell him if I said, brother, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where you got that information, but that's wrong. As a matter of fact, it was one of my friends recently, someone commented on his post, and they thought that they had to file some paperwork to be considered Moorish American or what have you. The prophet said none of that. None of that. And it's a shame that the greatest opposition sometimes that we're going to have is from people who may appear to look like us, or maybe Moorish, of Moorish descent. And you're trying to uplift your people, and you got other folks trying to hustle them. You know why? Because they have no respect for you. They have no respect for you or anybody look like you. They're full of it. But if it was a European, they would grin so hard. If somebody didn't hold their head down, they would fall off. But they have no respect for their own folks. And you know what? I told people, no man is going to respect you if he's in his right mind unless you respect yourself. There's, I sometimes I get off course, off the path. But I'm thankful for that still small voice. Lets you know. You need to straighten up and fly right. Because people are listening to you and people are looking at you. I have sons and what have you, and some of these sisters be looking good, but you can forget it. I love my wife. And I love myself. I love my family. I'm not going to throw them away. But caveat emptor. Let the buyer beware. I remember some Moors, I don't know who, somebody gave them a black fez, and they was everywhere. I guess enforcing the law or whatever they thought they were doing. And they would always say caveat emptor, blah, blah, blah. But you know what's interesting about this? It says here, caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. And then it tells you what to expect from a Moorish prophet. It tells you right there, Moors are men, upright. In other words, they're not underhanded. Independent, they're not living off of somebody else. Okay, fearless, who care for their loved ones. And if you care, it's not just your family, but you love your brothers and sisters. And I don't know about you, but You love people that you work with, people in your community. You love them. And because of that, you are upright, independent, and fearless. And you're not going to give them information that you know is not right. As a matter of fact, you're not even going to allow them to expose themselves to information that you know is not right. I had a real good friend of mine. He was a Christian brother. That was his preference. But he was telling me, I guess it's about 10, 15 years ago, about some people that were coming around to his house and they wanted to talk to him and blah, blah, blah about religion and so on and so forth. And as he continued to talk, I began to recognize the type of doctrine that they were teaching. And it was twisted. It was twisted. They were trying to ensnare this brother. And he basically asked me to come over and help him out when they came again to call on him. I said, okay. They came over and they kept their eyes on me. I didn't say anything at first. But after a while, I just began to ask them some honest questions. I wasn't angry, upset, but the more I began to ask these questions, the angrier they got. And I asked them, why are you trying to deceive this brother? Why don't you come out and tell him all of the things that you're not going to tell him until you have him ensnared? Because if you don't tell him, I'll tell him right here in front of you. And see, that's the thing about the truth. You don't have to hide. Yeah, we're supposed to walk in the light. You know, sometimes we get out of place. But if you're walking in the light, you don't have nothing to fear from darkness. Now, I know things can go awry, but you have nothing to fear. It's when you're doing wrong that you have something to worry about. And I don't know who this brother is. I really, I don't know. But if I meet him, I've got to let him know, brother, you don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where you got your information from. Because that's obvious. As I was thinking this morning that, falsehood has become emboldened. For whatever reason, they're convinced or persuaded that they can tell you that something is what it is not. Or vice versa. Something is not what it is. When you start telling me that, I remember one guy said, there's no such thing as Moorish science. Really? Now, how blind can you possibly be when it says right on the front of the record? Holy Quran of the what? Moorish Science Temple. That's a temple that deals with science. Moorish science specifically. Because it didn't say biological science. It didn't say earth sciences. It says none of that. It said Moorish science. And you got someone running around telling folks there's no such thing. And if someone needs to explain that, then there is a problem. Okay? If somebody, it's right there. And we have so many people in the world that, especially in this country, people are waking up. And people want to know the truth. And not just that people want to know things that are going to make this life, if not easier, at least a little easier to understand. And then here we go. With these folks with some mixed up information. And the worst part about it is, at least they appear to believe that they know what they're talking about. No. It's a circle 7. Okay? And that's what we demonstrate according to. And another thing too, I say this, if we give it time, understanding will grow. But we know it says man knows naught by being told. I know one place it was talking out reading at one time about how children are. They'll put anything in their mouth. Anything. So you gotta watch them. They'll toys, anything. They'll just pick it up. And when we really first, get interested in this type of knowledge or wisdom or understanding, we want more as much as we can get. But we have to be careful. Let the buyer beware. Let the consumer beware. See how interesting that word is? The consumer, the buyer, the consumer. Beware. That means to be careful. I was looking in this Moorish literature at how many places it said a warning from the prophet. And all true and divine prophets that I know of, or have studied or heard of, they always give you warnings. You may want to be careful about that. You may want to keep your eyes open when you're dealing with that. It's a warning to protect you. Not to deny us anything, but to protect us from unnecessary pain or discomfort or injury. I've never had to go in a court or anywhere else and argue with a European over who I was. I know who I am. I don't care what you say. You know what? And I'll tell you this here, and I'll leave it alone. I'll tell you this. From what I've seen in my life, it's not what you know, how much you know. What did the prophet say in the record? It is not abundance that makes one rich. It's not abundance that maketh rich, but economy. It's the using of it. It's the using of it. Now, some Europeans, the prophet said, well, if they don't write your name down with an ill or bay on it, whatever, there's no need for you to get upset. When you get the pen in your hand, you write it down. They can't take it up. You write it down. Well, if they say they call you black or whatever, they can call you anything they want. You know what you are. You be what you are. And it's just that simple. Now on the flip side, though, there are some good teachers out here. There's some good teachers out here, and I'm blessed to have a couple of them on my friends list on Facebook. I don't have too many because there's just too much, confusion going on. But there's a few good teachers. I'm waiting for these Moors to put some records together and put them out. I don't know what they're waiting for because they already got the information or the knowledge or the wisdom. And I'm waiting on it because I know it's going to be a blessing to us, our people in particular, and to America and the world in general. But we just can't allow ourselves to accept anything